Oh, shucks, I didn't even check. That's all. Do you think we need it? It isn't plugged in, sorry.
You just need to plug it in or what?
No, this is.
Try cut it off from the back.
You hear anything?
Let me check this. You don't need to plug it in. I mean, the plug.
It's supposed to be plugged in.
Speak that little company.
I didn't remember the jack.
Well, good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Rotarians and guests. What a pleasure it is to invite you once again to our lovely, exciting meeting this afternoon. We now meeting to order. Now call this meeting to order, and I'd like to ask Rotarian Jabbar, who's going to be our MC for the day, come now and navigate us through this afternoon session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my fellow Rotarians and our guests. Thank you for coming in today and being on Zoom. We have a very dynamic meeting today, and we have a special guest who's coming with a very timely message. So I'd like to start off by asking Rotarian A.G Geluk our loyal toast and our Rotary grace.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank thee for thy love in the bestowment of all gifts. We ask thy blessing upon our meeting this day and the good fellowship thou hast provided. Amen. Please remain standing and join me in the loyal toast. To the King and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
To the King, and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Okay, you may be seated. I now like to call on Sergeant of Arms, Rotarian Mayor, who is going to come with the official welcome.
Well. Good afternoon to all once again. What a pleasure it is. Hey, what a pleasure it is to be in sunny Bahamas, sunny Nassau, Bahamas. The weather is cooperating with us. It's beautiful outside, and I trust and hope that all of you have your soak and your fill of such a sunny, warm climate. I tell you, some parts of the U.S. and abroad, it's very, very cold. And of course, in Bahamas, we are celebrating a beautiful, beautiful day. So it is a pleasure for me to welcome you to the Rotary Club of Nassau, and welcome you to our weekly meeting. And it promises to be yet a dynamic one as we learn more about Rotary and Rotary Foundation. But before we get started right into it, I'd like to call our fellow Rotary. We have a guest in town, Dan. We have a guest in town, Dan, from Pennsylvania. Come in, Dan. We're going to welcome him to the front because we're going to do some trade-offs here. Yes, we're going to do some trade-offs here, and I trust and hope that we get some good photos for it. Yes, let me call the Madam President who will actually officially do the trade-off with Dan.
All right, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. So I heard from Dan a couple of days ago. He's here visiting our lovely islands in the Bahamas and decided to stop in and visit the Rotary Club of Nassau. So we do have a flag. I hope you can see it. This is our little banner that we're going to be sharing with Dan for him to take back to his home club.
Here's the one I'm bringing from my own club in Whiteoak, Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh. I'm in the district that covers Pittsburgh and all this around.
All right. You hold it on so I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut your head down. All right, good stuff.
A little bit about you.
I've been a Rotarian for 7 years. My club is unfortunately only been around for the last 12 years. Part of my involvement in Rotary, I'm currently an AG, I'm an AG advisor. I'm involved in the foundation committee of my district. I plan our foundation. And just this past November of last year, I was selected as my district DGND, now DGN my district. So I'm back at 8. I'll be the district governor of my district in 24-25, which is actually the same year that RI president nominee Stephanie Urchek to serve as president, who's also from my district as well. So it's a very big honor for me to be our incoming DG here, but also serve with a fellow return from my district, who's going to be on the Rotary. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right, that's what we can do better than that. We can do better than that. All right. That around the applause. Thank you, Gary and Dan, all the way from Pennsylvania. We're really happy to have you in the sunny and warm Bahamas. And I'm quite sure you will already experience some of our hospitality thus far. Continue to enjoy our warm weather and our beautiful beaches, sir. And we look forward to seeing you again in the near future. And as we move right along, like we like to have it, we want to have all of our Rotarians. Do we have any visiting Rotarians on the call? We'd like to welcome you, and we'd like you to open up your mic and at this time just chime in and just give us a good warm welcome. I see we got quite a few visiting Rotarians, so this is an opportunity for you to say hi to the Rotary Club of Nassau.
Yeah, you have Mike Stafford from the Rotary Club of Freeport, who runs the Rotary Water Plant in Grand Bahama Island.
Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate you. Good job. Continue to do the excellent work down there in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm past President Dominica of the Rotary Club of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Good to be with you.
Jamaica's in the house. Jamaica's in the house. I'm just happy to have Jamaica in the house. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, man.
Everyone. My name is Director Leanna Simon, and I'm boasting our sunshine here in the British Virgin Islands as well.
All right.
Thank you. Welcome.
BVI.
Yes.
We know you.
And I second that. I am past President Lynette Harrigan from the Rotary Club of Tortola.
Nice.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tamara Maju from the Rotary Club of Rotown, the original fun club.
Okay. Wow.
Good afternoon. My name is IPP Joanna from the Rotary Club of Tortola. Very nice to be on this meeting today.
And it's so nice to have you and all the lovely guests. I mean, this sounds like an international meeting. I tell you, from all over the world. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Dalicia Emmanuel, guest of Chavarro.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. So much for joining us. I see Shavar and I'm ready. Inviting guests. Come. Yes, thank you so much. Anyone else? Yes,
Is it technical?
the technical difficulty on. And do we have any other visitors online, fellow Rotarians online? Other guests?
I mean, so in 2023, what that balance is to be paid by January 30th, 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, good. No, that was in that one. I was wondering. It's on in the pilot. Clean. Yes. Do we have any other visitors or any other visiting Rotarians? Okay, we have a visitor in person. Yes, my dear. How are you doing? Could you kindly introduce yourself to us, please?
Happy visitation, everyone. I'm Victoria Ambrose, certified. I provide dedicated training for schools, churches, and organizations.
Thank you very much. And you will guess of who? Oh. Okay, thank you so much. Guess in person. Any other guests we have in person? And that seems like that's it. We are just among fellow Rotarians. So we just want to say welcome, 1, welcome 2, and welcome 3. You are all indeed welcome to the Rotary Club of Nassau. We are glad to have you. Let's give yourselves a round of applause wherever you are. Okay, and so now I think I'll call on the MC, Master of Ceremony, Rotarian Bar, to continue navigating us through our program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rotarian Mayor. Now we have our presidential announcements from our illustrious president.
Fine, but thank you for the welcome. Hi, good afternoon again, fellow Rotarians. So just a few things to remind you of. I will be sending out a notice later on today. Apologize for the late notice, but we do have a webinar that's coming up on Saturday. The team from Club Services who are working with World Diabetes Day, because so much was happening during the months of November for Foundation. We are having it the first Saturday in December. So there is a webinar that's happening from 10 o'clock on Saturday. I will be sending out the email to all of you so you can have the link. Please, I'd appreciate if you can tune in and join us. We do still have the bell ringing going on. Thank you so much. It looks like we have all of the slots booked for this weekend, which is great. But we will be going on until the 24th of December. So please go on. If you haven't done so yet, please go on and sign up so that you can, so that you can volunteer for the Salvation Army. This is how they get the bulk of their funds to assist those who are most vulnerable, most needy within the communities. From the New Generations Committee, the RM Bailey Interact Club, they will be having the installation of their offices starting at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So unfortunately, because they're still in school, they're only allowing 5 of us to actually come onto the campus. So I can't invite all of you to attend, but to be there in spirit, so we can wish them luck. So I'll be there, of course, during the installation, and then there'll be some persons from the New Generations Committee who will also be there for us to carry out that installation. I don't know if PP Stephen is on yet, but I know he has some information that he wants to share about the activities that's happening for club services. So I guess whenever he gets here, we can give an opportunity to do that. Okay, but that is it for me for now. There are some other activities happening, but I will let the secretary talk about that during her. If not, it's you, Michael.
Thank you, President Chantel, and Secretary Padilla with our secretary updates.
Good afternoon, everyone. Short update today. Just wanted to remind you all that the New Year's party is slowly approaching us on January 14th, and just want to urge everyone to remember to collect their tickets for this being the main fundraiser for the club for the year. On another short note as well, we're having a Giving Tuesday at Past Senior Citizens Home for 3 o'clock today. So for anyone able to join President Chantel and I for 3 p.m., we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Padilla. And now you'll ask Rotarian Crystal, who's going to come with the membership update.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Quick membership update. We have some celebrations going on. First, we would like to
Hi,
celebrate.
Crystal. Crystal, before you do that, we need to see your face, Crystal.
I can't. I am actively in a clinic.
Okay.
So, yes.
Go ahead, Crystal. Go ahead.
So first off, we celebrate 19 years of service with past Rotarian Public Image Coordinator Sheila. Congratulations for 19 years of dedicated Rotarian service. We have 2 years with Rotarian Patricia. We have 2 years with Rotarian Jonathan. Thank you so much for your dedicated time and service. Birthday celebrations, Rotarian Jonathan, again, happy birthday, December 1. Rotarian Derica, December 4th. Past President Tony, December 5th. Thank you so much and happy birthday. Also, when last have you seen your buddy? When last have you said a hello? When last have you done a nice greeting to your buddy? If your buddy is in the room, hug your buddy. Moving on, it's Christmas gift giving time. So let's remember our buddies with the Christmas stocking stuffings and the gift underneath the tree. So everybody should get a gift from their buddy and everybody should give a gift to their buddy. Thank you so much. Remember your buddies this holiday season. That's all for me for membership update.
All right, as the song, Crystal.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. How old am I now? My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. So I can party all night.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Okay, so we'll take a moment to fellowship and enjoy our meal. So we'll be back shortly. Thanks.
Treat. Steven is here now. Three. Whoop, did I do that? Craig is on the road. Craig is on the road. Hey, Craig wants to do. Oh man, these guys are having fun on the chat. Yeah, it's having fun. Welcome to you guys on the chat. A lot of persons on the chat and thank you all about that.
All right, guys, welcome back, welcome back. So we're gonna ask past President Stephen to come up with some announcements, further announcements. Who was occupying the big, according to the president? Not me.
No problem at all. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Glad to see everybody here. You know, when I walk in this room, the atmosphere is so cool, so nice, so warm, that I take off my jacket. You know, some place you go, it's so cold, you gotta put on a jacket, you know? Just put a smile on it. Okay, just talk about, we had this debate about Christmas Day, annual traditional Christmas Day feeding that we do on Christmas morning. Christmas Day morning. Christmas Day morning is falling on the Sunday mornings. I have to go to mass on Sunday morning. A lot of people have to go mass on Sunday morning. A lot of people would not be at home on Sunday morning, the families along that line. The pastors who we normally work with, according to those areas, they are in their church on Sunday morning. Sunday morning is high time at our church, all right? So we have to shift a day. If you even want to shift it to Monday morning, because of the national Junkanoo, there are some of us who are locked down for 2 years, couldn't go to Junkanoo. Everybody going to Junkanoo on Monday morning. So after doing the survey on the ground, the underground survey, it was determined that it's best to do it on Tuesday. The Tuesday, which is registered as the holiday, the Boxing Day holiday, the Tuesday morning. So we will form in the Tuesday morning along that line. Now, if some of y'all will go on Christmas morning, y'all could go, but I wouldn't be there. And the bulk of the club wouldn't be. And the food wouldn't be. All right? That's the case of it. Maybe Pastor Sam to close down the church on Sunday morning. And
we need to close down his church if you're going to use.
All we close down all places. Okay. But anyway, so Tuesday morning is the time. You need to be ready at 5 o'clock in the morning. Get ready at 5. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Get ready at 5. Be in place at various locations that will be posted as of today. So you can determine if 3 sites that we go to deliver food on Christmas morning. What we do, we give a meal complete to the family to feed about 5 persons. Enough food to feed about 5 persons. And that will happen to 30 families. You can either go to the main town area, the central part, the inner city, New Providence, or the Foxton area. So there's the 3 choice areas that you can do it. We expect all Rotarians to be there. We expect particularly our new members. I want to see every one of them. This shall post text and say that you're serious about Rotary. Okay? More of those who drive Rotary, particularly this year, this shall post text. And after this, if you fail this one, I don't know. I don't know what to say. All right? But this shall post text. All right, so we expect to see you there. Additionally, what I'm still the plea is out. I haven't seen we can push it out. We need 30 cases of water. So Rotarians, if everybody give 1 or 2 cases of water, that's additional what we can give to the families. A case of water along with their meal. That's an addition every year. All right. And next year, when we wins the lottery, we can give all kinds of things, all right? We can give all kinds of things, all right? So we won't have to be talking about this. We can give them just a whole drill each. Come get a drill, all right? So we're looking good at that. So we want to know we get the push from everybody, please. Please, we need your support. We need your support. Anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, no, when we have the voices project, I think I can't be looking around the stick. The stick is 11 o'clock. If you just go there, we need you to come. You know, we cannot mingle with them anymore. Like we used to sit down and sing carols and they used to listen to my voice. They love hearing me, but they can't hear me, right? But we will go there and deliver the food, take a photo op with the patrons, do our thing. We want to still be committed to that. The voice run. That's a traditional thing. That's an achievement for Rotary. Yeah. And additionally, on Saturday, we got for the next 3 Saturdays, we have the bell ringing at the top of the hill. The Salvation Army kettle, the money, the red bell. But some of y'all ain't listening to me. The red bell was ring. Clink, 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 clink. Yeah. All right. We expect every Rotarian to put it in a time. It is from 9 o'clock to 1, 9 to 3, 9 to 4, 9 to 4. So you only need to come there for a 2-hour span and go. 2 hours. Book your time, please. Book your time. I started off. I led by example. It was there on Saturday morning when we started. It is a wonderful occasion. It is nice meeting people. People so happy to see you, you know. And they were throwing money in. They were, you know, when they see Stephen Dean was there, they just put money in, right? Yeah. Okay, so when you know, you can need an extra kid. Get the bucket. Absolutely. Get it. Bring your guests. All right. So we have all of y'all, every Rotarian, all y'all who are listening on the World Wide Web, who on Zoom, we expect you to start logging in. The schedule is all right, madam?
Yes, it is.
And if you don't know how to use that kind of thing, the technology you get, just type it somewhere and send it. Someone say, I won't be there. So this Saturday, you have your time. Please, let's show up in full force Rotarian. It is for a cause. It has been a standard, a staple, a tradition with this club. And it's just a joy to see that, right? So maybe y'all may see me come and put something in the pan if you come out, right? Okay, come. If the government see me come out, all right? So, Madam President, you'll be there this Sunday?
Yes, I will.
This Sunday. Madam President will be there. You know, you're gonna be there this Sunday?
I'll be there.
Maybe with glasses on, okay.
So you can hear properly.
Yeah. So we just, you know, all of you are there. So let's populate the site. One Saturday, you know, 2 Saturday. Right. You there?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, making all kind of comments for you, Steve. They say you work for Bahamas Airline.
So thank you very much, Vice President Stephen. All right, so I have the honor to introduce our speaker today.
Let me hear you.
All right, Assistant Governor Ryan Geluk is no stranger to the Rotarian District 720, having served in several capacities in the club district, and currently the role of Assistant Governor for the British Virgin Islands. In the past several years, he has served on several district foundation committees in roles such as district and global grants chair, vocational training team chair, future visions and area coordinator for BVI. He currently sits on the district and global grants committee, supporting PDG Rupert and PDG Paul. The power of Rotary Foundation is his drive and Rotary. Outside of Rotary, Ryan is the managing director of DEAL, overseeing the advisory and innovation services for both local and international clients. He is also the president of a number of organizations and sits on various industry committees promoting the accounting profession within the financial services industry. While not working or involved in community projects, A.G. Ryan enjoys spending time with his family, dogs, reading, and watching or playing sports. Ryan's belief is that Rotary is more than just an organization. It is a way of life. And if we live the Rotary way, we will have a successful life. As we celebrate Rotary Foundation Month, please join me in welcoming A.G. Ryan Sheila to discuss the Rotary Foundation. A.G Ryan.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, our President Chantal and members of the Rotary Club of Nassau. It's great to be here. I wish I was there in person as opposed to be sitting here in the BVI, but nonetheless, we have beautiful weather here, so it's not too bad. But it's certainly great to be here. So thanks for President Chantal for inviting me to speak on a very important topic, especially given today is Giving's Tuesday. So those of you, I'll give a little bit of plugs at Giving's Tuesday now, and I'll do it at the end of the presentation as well, to just make sure that those persons who are wanting or able to give to the Rotary Foundation, today is a perfect day. If yesterday wasn't a good day or tomorrow isn't a good day, today is a perfect day to give to the Rotary Foundation. So hopefully today, one of my aims is going to be to give you a bit more information on what the Rotary Foundation is about, giving you a bit more information on why the Rotary Foundation is so important to us as Rotarians, and particularly why you as Rotarians should invest in the Rotary Foundation. One thing that I always talk about when I'm talking about the Rotary Foundation is I talk about an investment in the Rotary Foundation, or investment in Rotary, because that's really what it is when you're donating money to the Rotary Foundation. You are investing in Rotary, you're investing in humanity, you're investing in amazing projects that Rotarians do around the world. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to give and help persons who you know, but more than likely persons who you might never know, or you might never see, or you might never meet. And it is an awesome responsibility and an awesome thing that we're as Rotarians we're able to do. So what I plan to do today is I'm going to show a quick video, and hopefully this video plays well on your side. I thought it's a really good video, partly because you don't have to listen to me for the next 20 minutes, but more so because it definitely gives you a great background as to what the Rotary Foundation is about. I've seen many videos over the years, but this one's a perfect video, gives a perfect synopsis on the history of the Rotary Foundation, what the Rotary Foundation is involved in, and why the Rotary Foundation is so important. So let me play the video now.
Our vision for the Rotary Foundation began 100 years ago. At Rotary's 1917 convention, President Arch Klump proposed an endowment for doing good in the world. His dream expanded the reach of Rotary far beyond the club. A contribution of $26.50 launched our foundation's endowment. A century later, we've spent more than $3 billion on humanitarian efforts worldwide.
Every Rotary project anywhere in the world always started out with one person who had an idea. And then they were able to grow and develop that idea by using that powerful network of Rotary to really change the world.
We are active, we are effective, we are really alive.
Our foundation has always been dedicated to improving lives. The first grant provided aid to disabled children. Today, we are on the verge of ending polio.
Et lorsque je vois une mère me sourire après avoir donné le vaccin à son enfant, cela comble ma journée de joie. Parce que j'ai la conviction que cet enfant ne sera jamais handicapé.
Without Rotary, this polio campaign wouldn't be anywhere. And the incredible effort that's been made from the very beginning is really unprecedented.
In the wake of a world war, we made a global impact by funding scholarships for international study. Today, we train the next generation of global peacemakers.
The Rotary Peace Fellowship takes people who have the desire to learn and gives them that opportunity.
Good intentions alone are not sufficient.
This is one of the most important things an international organization like the Rotary should do.
We all see this as a passion. We've got to do something for change. Not only for young people of today, but of tomorrow.
Rotary is dedicated to personal and professional connections, so we created Group Study Exchange to build international understanding. Today, our foundation supports vocational training teams around the globe.
You turn the dial until this color matches this color.
The BTT program allows people to bring specific skills to improve another country.
Rotarians wanted to broaden their impact, so our foundation began funding their projects. A decade later, we began supporting larger projects to address health, hunger, and other humanitarian needs. Today's large-scale grants are measurable and sustainable. They allow us to tackle humanity's greatest challenges. "100 years ago, Arch Klump had a vision. His vision has become our legacy.
The Rotary Foundation is a great tool to transform the world.
That's what Rotary is all about. Vision to see, faith to believe, and courage to act.
The Rotary Foundation. We are doing good in the world. Let's continue for the next 100 years.
All right, so that video always touches me because it hits on so many different aspects of what the Rotary Foundation is all about. When a lot of people hear about the Rotary Foundation, the first thing they always think about is money. The first thing they always think about is complex structures. They always think about how complicated things are. But really, in the end of the day, Rotary Foundation has asked you to start your video. Host has asked.
We want to see you.
Oh, sorry. I had to do it because my so there we go. I had to do that because I wanted the video to present well. So one of the key aspects is something that I always speak about with the Rotary Foundation, something that everybody seems to miss about it, is in the end of the day, the Rotary Foundation always ends with people. It starts with people and ends with people. And what I mean with that is you have to start with donations, and donations are typically always made by persons, made by people, regardless of whether it's made by a corporation or made by individuals. It's people who make those donations. But in the end of the day, it always ends with people as well. So whoever is being assisted, whoever is being helped, whether it's teaching a child to read, or ending polio, or growing or strengthening communities, or supporting the environment. In the end of the day, the beneficiaries are always about people. And if there's one message that I can leave with each of you to understand the Rotary Foundation and how you can personally connect to it, is connect to the human aspect of the Rotary Foundation is all about, because that will really simplify everything that the Rotary Foundation discusses, or everything the Rotary Foundation is involved with. So it always ends with people. And when I get down to the areas of focus, one of the things I will focus on in that is who are the people that are being supported, who are the people that who are benefiting from your donations and your investment into the Rotary Foundation. So a few things that I want to sort of talk about is, whoops, I have BVI in the Rotary Foundation. I'm in District 7020 in there. Let me see here. So the mission of the Rotary Foundation is very simple, and I'll read it quickly. The mission of Rotary Foundation is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the supportment of education and alleviation of poverty. It's very, very simple. And when you look at what that mission of it is, you'll very quickly see a lot of the areas of focus being mentioned, talking about literacy, talking about peace, talking about supporting health, alleviation of poverty, which goes down into developing communities and things like that. Now, I'm sure that they probably will update the mission statement to include elements of the environment, because obviously the environment is now the seventh area of focus within the Rotary Foundation. But it is a very simple mission to advance world understanding and goodwill. And if you know the motto of the Rotary Foundation, it's to do goodwill. It was always created to do goodwill, or to enable Rotarians to do goodwill in the world. So there has to be, it's not a surprise that the mission of the Rotary Foundation includes that element of goodwill and peace, because that's in essence where the Rotary Foundation really garnered its roots from. But this is a quotation from Arch Klump back in 1928, which really rings a bell to me in a number of ways. It says the Rotary Foundation is not to build monuments of brick and stone. If we work upon marble, it will perish. If we work on brass, time will efface it. If we rear temples, they will crumble into dust. But if we work upon immortal minds, we are engraving on those tablets something that will brighten all eternity. And the reason I highlight this as a part of the presentation is twofold. One, if you understand the work of the Rotary Foundation, and certainly the work of the grants program, the grants program does not allow for the building of physical buildings, but it looks more towards all areas of essentially the building process, or the building of communities, or the building of healthcare and things like that. So why Rotary has not focused on essentially building, partly is because of this saying, Rotary was not meant to build monuments of brick. Why? Because they, in the end of the day, they crumble. But if you look at building education, or you look at supporting health, or you look at supporting the environment, these are things that are going to be there long after we pass on, hopefully, or that they will benefit so much more than what a building will be. So that's why I wanted to focus on this. Is the Rotary Foundation it focuses on sustainability, projects that are sustainable. And Arch Klump saw that way before the average Rotarian saw that he wanted to support, he wanted to use the Rotary Foundation to create projects that live throughout eternity, not ones that over time will crumble or time will efface it and things like that. So I just wanted to leave that with you, or to start that with you when we talk about the Rotary Foundation. It's there to create very sustainable projects. So when you're looking at projects to do, you're looking at grant funds to have, where you're looking at funds from the Rotary Foundation, concentrate on that element of sustainability, because it's a requirement through global grants, but two, it just makes sense that you want projects that are there long after you sort of walk away or pull away from those projects, that you can still look on them and call them your quote unquote legacy, because that's a word I throw around a lot when it comes to Rotary Foundation. Whenever you're working with the Rotary Foundation, what you're really doing is creating a legacy. So what really is a Rotary Foundation? Well, something that I leave with everybody, it is one of the world's largest private foundations. Globally, the Rotary is recognized, one, because of its size, two, because of the credibility that it creates and everybody knows about sort of the 4 stars that the Charity Navigator has given to Rotary Foundation over the last 14 years. That's an extremely important part, but it is one of the world's largest foundations. Net assets of over $1.035 billion, I believe, at the end of 2021. So it's got size to it, and with size obviously comes credibility. With size, it allows us to do a lot of amazing things. But it is important because it's our fundraising arm. Whenever we look at large projects around the world, whether it's the great work that Rotary does in Haiti, digging wells in Africa, supporting Persons to Read in India, building a hospital in Southeast Asia, eradicating polio. All of these things are there because the Rotary Foundation allows them to be done, because the Rotary Foundation provides that mechanism for funds to go in, and then also provides the mechanism for funds to be dispersed to the projects that that they're meant to. One thing when you're talking about the Rotary Foundation, if people remind them that 95 cents out of every dollar that goes into the Rotary Foundation goes towards the projects that they're meant to. And that's something that a lot of, or most foundations and even most international service organizations can't say, that so much of their funds go straight back into the project. So do remember that 95 cents or 95% statistic, because it is a really important part of what we do. It is, as I said before, the driver of all internationally funded projects. Any project that requires funding through international clubs and through international organizations is done through the Rotary Foundation, and it does allow us to do good in the world. But so much more, it looks at really 7 particular areas of focus. And when I speak about these areas of focus, find ones that resonate with you, because I guarantee you there's nobody on this presentation, there's nobody in the room there at the Rotary Club of Nassau who can't relate or who can't find a passion for one of those 7 areas of focus. And it doesn't matter if your passion is water and sanitation. And I know Mike Stafford is on this call, and I know how much passion and how much great work he's done with water and sanitation there in Grand Bahama. Whether it be teaching basic education literacy, and persons who have seen some of my posts on Facebook know that I'm very passionate about mothers and fathers reading to their children, and that's something that I'm very passionate about. But there's something that really speaks to me, and why I invest in the Rotary Foundation is because of projects around the world that look at child health and maternal and basic education and literacy. So why is it we care? Why we should invest? Well, first of all, we should care because of disease prevention and treatment. We are one of the leading organizations providing support for disease prevention and treatment worldwide. Everybody knows about the hard work that we do with the Polio Plus project and eradicating polio around the world. And we are very, very close, but we have to continue to support the polio and our fight. Because we've seen it pop up in New York, we've seen it pop up in London, we've seen it pop up in Israel. And it's just a reminder again of why it's so important that we continue to invest in polio and eradicating polio, because one case of polio is one case too many. We've seen what happens with COVID and how quickly COVID can spread if you have one case. Well, polio is no different. That if you leave one case around, it will turn into 2 cases, 4 cases, 16 cases, 32, and before you know it, it rears its ugly head in communities around the world again. So we can't stop our work. So we need to continue to invest in preventing disease and treating disease as well. It is, when we look at for global grants, it is the largest fundraising or funding source for global grants. About 44% of all global grants are given for projects in disease prevention and treatment. So why else should we care? Well, I spoke before about basic education literacy, teaching children in impoverished communities to read. When you look at how to develop communities, you can't develop communities without having an element of basic education literacy. There's so many of our areas of focus which are intertwined. When I speak about water and sanitation in a second, it's intertwined with so many of the areas of focus as well. So basic education literacy, we can't develop the world, and we can't solve poverty and things like that without having basic education literacy in our communities. We should invest in it because of water and sanitation. We don't have to look far to learn and to understand how important water and sanitation is for a country like Haiti. So having water and sanitation is vital for District 7020, and is vital for around the community. There's over 700 or 800 million persons around the world don't have access to basic water and sanitation. So we have to continue to invest in that. We in the BVI, we in Bahamas, we in many areas in District 7020 have access to clean water and sanitation. But there's so many people in this world. When you consider there's 8 billion people and 800 million of them don't, that's 10% of the world's population who don't have access to clean water and sanitation. So it's upon us to continue to have programs that provide that basic water and sanitation to communities. We can't develop communities. We can't support health if we don't have clean water and sanitation either. So again, there's that connection between other areas of focus. So maternal and child health, how can we develop communities? How can we develop the rest of the world if we have communities and countries where children are dying under the age of 2, where mothers are dying during childbirth? So we have to invest in these programs that invest in supporting maternal and child health. Peace and conflict resolution. There's a number of countries that are still war torn, and those countries grow by the day, by the minute, and all of those involve people, innocent persons who are involved or who are caught up in conflict in their own countries. And it's imperative upon us to invest in programs like the Peace Fellow program within the Rotary Foundation, where we develop leaders and we develop persons with the education necessary for preventing conflict and resolving conflict in communities around the world. They do happen everywhere, and again, we don't have to look far even within District 7020 to know that there's conflict going on in Haiti. So projects and programs that are supported by the Rotary Foundation help and go to help those areas in war-torn countries. We can look at economic and community development, developing in communities, developing persons in communities to grow. One of the reasons I became involved with the Rotary Foundation back in 2005 was after the hurricane in Southeast Asia. And it was because of programs in economic and community development of providing grants to purchase fishing nets because of fishing boats were destroyed during the tsunami and earthquake in Southeast Asia, providing sewing machines so that mothers could, or that women in those areas, because most of the women were the ones who created those small businesses for creating textiles and sewing and so on, so they could start to develop their communities. These are the type of projects that I became very passionate about and very involved in back in 2005. And one of the reasons why I love the Rotary Foundation is because there are small, simple programs that can benefit so many people when you focus on projects around economic and community development. It's around supporting the environment, our 7th area of focus, and such an important area of focus. I mean, you hear President or Prime Minister Mia Mottley in Barbados speaking so passionately about why it's imperative upon us, especially island nations, to support the environment. We understand in the Bahamas, in BVI, in Barbados, in around District 7020, why the environment and why climate change is so important. But it's great to know that Rotary always also recognizes why those are important. So these are all areas, and I'm sure as I've went through these 7 areas of focus, I'm sure that there's one area of focus that really touched you. And when you're asked to give to the Rotary Foundation, remember those projects and remember those causes, one of those areas of focus, and that's where your money is going towards. How do you know that? Because of what I spoke about by the Charity Navigator. The Charity Navigator says that it's based upon the transparency and the governance, that when those monies go into the Rotary Foundation, they are going directly to the programs where they're needed the most. So when you're given to the Rotary Foundation, you're knowing that that money is going directly towards to those programs. So I want to take you through just a couple of statistics on a brief history of where the Rotary Foundation sort of got started, because they're great facts to understand and know, and you can sort of show off when you have your quiz days and things like that, as I know you all, as we do around District 7020. And when they start asking, okay, what year did the Rotary Foundation start? You say, hey, I know it started in 1917 by who? By then RI President Arch Klump, when he started an endowment for the purpose of doing good in the world. And it started with only $26.50. So when we talk about every Rotarian every year program and why $25, well, it's because it rounds down to that $26.50, because that number is a great starting point to say, well, if they started with $26.50 back in 1917, certainly we as every Rotarian every year should be giving at least $26 or really $25 to the Rotary Foundation. In 1930, that first foundation project, or that first foundation grant, was given to the Society of Crippled Children. And that's now known as Easter Seals in the US. And why I think that that's important is because that was Rotary's first, or Rotary International's first project that started with crippled children, and now you can sort of see it with the immunization of polio, which also looks at, or very much targets, crippled children, or preventing a disease that cripples children. So it started with something down in 1930 that all of a sudden resonated down in 1979, where Rotary began a program to eradicate polio first in Philippines, and then in 1984 became a worldwide, or 1985 became a worldwide program of the Rotary Foundation, or Rotary International. 2007, Bill and Melinda Gates decided that they looked at the passion that Rotary had towards eradicating polio, and they saw the credibility that Rotary had, and said, well, if we want, or if we as a foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, want to help polio, and we want to do it through an organization where we know our money is going to go to that, we want to give it to Rotary. So they pledged $100 million in 2007 that said if Rotary could raise 100, they would raise 100. They added 255 million in 2009. And now in 2018, they've matched that several more times, so that now, in essence, almost every 3 years, that's a rolling program between Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Rotary, where they say that they will match $2 for every $1 that Rotary raises, so that up to a total of, I believe, it's $250 million. So they would provide 2/3 of everything if we provided 1/3, and there's no greater investment that we can have than that. So for every $2 that we give towards Polio Plus, or sorry, $1 that we give towards Polio Plus, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will give $2 towards that. And why that's really important is that $1 that you give, it only costs 60 cents to provide a vaccination to a child in Afghanistan, or a child in Pakistan, or even a child in Nigeria or India or anywhere right now, because we still have to eradicate and inoculate every single child. 60 cents so it only costs 60 cents. So that means your $1 plus Bill and Melinda Gates is $2. That's $3. So that's 5 children that your $1 just helped to save. And that, to me, is probably the best investment you could possibly have when you're looking at where to invest your money within the Rotary Foundation. Is you can save with $1 that you can save, and it doesn't take a lot to create an impact of saving 5 children. So when you consider how you're investing your money, look at the Rotary Foundation as a place to invest in. 2015, obviously, Nigeria was moved from the list, and now we became only 2 endemic countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And I think I saw a video in September. We're actually up to 18 cases in Pakistan, and I believe 2 cases in Afghanistan. So we are very close. That number, unfortunately, was only 2 cases in Pakistan a year ago. So you can see how quickly those numbers can move. And obviously, we've seen type 2 polio now in the water systems in New York, in London, and in Israel. So just a quick summary of where we are, District 7020, because it's important to also understand as a district where we are in giving towards polio. In 2022-23, our goal is somewhere around 279, but we always say about $300,000 that we want the district to give towards polio, and we are 40% of the way there. This number was as of yesterday. I downloaded this report yesterday, so as of yesterday, we're about 40% of the way there, which is not too bad. I would like to, if you see on the bottom chart there, that sort of gives an indication that that light blue line on the bottom is a year by year summary of where we are to date in comparison to other years. So you are seeing a downward trend, not surprising, obviously, with COVID, that number, but we're hoping that number now from 2021 to 22 does go upwards over the years, because we would like to see ourselves sort of at that where we were at 2018, 2019. By this time of the year, normally we would be at 200,000. So our goal remains steady, somewhere in the area of about 300,000. Now that's just for the annual program fund. When we look at everything to a polio donation to any Rotary projects as well, you can see back in 2020, 2021, actually our high was 576,000, which is amazing. Even now, or even the prior year at 456,000, we do support the Rotary Foundation because we understand that it's a really important part of what makes District 7020. District 7020 knows the power of the Rotary Foundation probably better than any district around the world. And I'll go through some of the statistics in 2 seconds, and then we'll sort of finish off.
Hi, good afternoon, AG. Can we continue this in the parking lot, please? Because we have to wrap up the meeting.
Oh, sorry. Let me finalize this one now. So inward grants, we on average we're about 8 to 1. So for every $1 we're giving to the foundation, we're receiving $8 back, and that's the last statistic I'll leave you with, because that's much more than any other district around the world gives. So it was a lot of information to get through in a short period of time, but hopefully everybody's got a little bit more understanding on the Rotary Foundation. I can certainly answer any final questions if you have any. Otherwise, I thank everybody for our listening to it today.
All right, thank you very much, A.G. Geluk. We will have the questions in the parking lot. So on behalf of Rotary Club of Nassau, the oldest Rotary Club on the island and the best, we'd like to thank you for taking out the time today to give us a very informative presentation. And thank you. And again, the additional questions will be at the parking lot. Now we'll ask Rotarian Wayne to come forward with our favorite time of the meeting, clients and the raffles.
Yes. Okay, fine time. I gotta be the first one to get fine. I did not put my phone on mute. So I'll pay my fine. My phone went off, and people call you at the same time. They call you that time, right? They're supposed to call you. So I'll pay my fine. No,
The sergeant pays a double fine. A double fine for the sergeant. Right, Mr. Dan, a double fine for the sergeant. Whatever you paid before, you double it.
Very much.
Was that $10?
I'll be fine. But anyway, moving on to the time, I think we have a raffle going on.
Yes.
Everyone already got their tickets? Indeed. Everyone is going to get a ticket. Can we have our guests? Dan?
Take it up, pull
it up.
Take it up.
Pull it up. I think last week, me to be that bad last week.
You got a good, Don? You shaking it around good?
Am I? Let's see.
All right. Okay.
Don, are you the winner, Don?
Good. Ticket number. These are the winners. All right. This is the winner. One person. You have 2 prizes for 1 person.
Did you show the prize? Did they
2 prizes?
Oh, okay. One prize.
One prize. I think this is a Santa Margarita, still Rose, Hillary.
Sound like the president.
Okay, ticket price number for your holiday goose. 0191.
Indeed.
Are we all still here? Next number is 0. And the winning number, see you got a smile on your face. Number 1.
That's you.
Really, Dad? You got to take something back today. You got to take something back for the Bahamas. Dan, I called it, Dan. I called it.
Back from the Bahamas.
Sorry, I'll start with this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dan, you have to go around, Dan, and take a photo with that.
You're getting all kinds of gifts today, Dan.
And you came, you brought, and you take it back.
Excellent, excellent.
Always a winner when you come to Rotary Club of Nassau, Dan. Yes, you can. All right, excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dan. Visiting with Jerry from Pennsylvania. He came here from Pennsylvania to visit that. Right. That's our gift, yeah. That's our gift.
Yes, yes.
That's our gift to them. Okay, and then now, those Rotarians who do not have their pins on, we'd like to offer a fine to you. Any Rotarian knows that does not have their pin, their Rotary pin on? Everyone have their pin on?
Is it true?
I tell you, I will know.
I laugh it. Why you laughing?
You going all right?
You're underdressed. You're underdressed. Without that pin, you're underdressed.
Very good to be here, everyone. Thanks so much. Thank you.
All right, okay.
Right. Like I said, that's the favorite. It's very fun. You didn't. On the part. All right, so we're gonna ask Rotarian Dane to come forward and we can do the four-way cast and the Rotary toast. Will you please stand?
Darren. Who was it? Oh, Danny. Danny, they get changed.
On all the Rotarians just for the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair or is it true? Is it unwilling? Parking glasses for the Rotary toast. To all Rotarians and guests zooming with us on the air, and to those Rotarians and guests who are here, let us join with Rotarians everywhere. The toast to Rotary around the world.
Rotary around the world.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellent. You may be seated. Thank you.
President, did you put it back on the screen, please?
There we go. My apologies.
Oh, with everybody, with everybody.
All right, so.
View. Get the view with everybody.
I'm trying to think if that's my view or your view.
It's probably mine.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Fine. Apologies, sorry, we always have some slight technical challenges when we come to meeting. But thank you again for coming. Appreciate your assistance today. Monique, how did we do for our Giving Tuesday? How do we do?
Great, $79.
$79. Give yourself a round of applause.
All
Thank you very much. All right, so it looks like everybody was having small lunches today then, but hey, excellent, excellent, thank you for it. And we look forward to seeing you on this weekend. We do have the, the webinar, we're sending out the information for that. We do have the bell ringing as well. So we do look forward to seeing you this weekend. And you'll get more information about next week and Persis Rogers, you'll get that information out to you as well. So thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Now, if you have any questions, I see Ryan is still on. Sorry, we had to break into his presentation and excellent information, but now is the time if you have any questions to go ahead and ask Ryan. Thank you. You should have the first question.
Let me see. Any questions, Ryan? Well, he had a couple of things that he wanted to share at the end. Is there anything else you want to share? Ryan, is there anything else that you wanted to share? I know you were wrapping up with a couple of points at the end. Was there anything you wanted to share on your presentation?
Not necessarily. There were just a couple of mentions with regards to probably more for next year. District grant applications are going to be starting to open up for next year, starting in January. So for the board for 2023-24, keep an eye out for that. So I don't know if your incoming president is online or in the room right now, but something for any board on the 23 for next Rotary year. Keep a lookout for that. But I will try to share a link to this presentation because it has some videos in it, so I can't really email it. And also easy to go online and donate. So just click on the donate button online, follow the easy steps. If you're not sure where to donate to, the annual fund share is, I think it's the one on the top left-hand side, is the one to select. That's the one that goes back into District 7, where 50% of that money goes back into District 7020 in 3 years' time. So if you are giving today online, please just click on the donate button, then click on annual fund shares, however much you want to give. If you want to do it frequently, then you can put in your credit card information and you can give one time, you can give multiple times throughout the year, and it's very easy to do. So.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ryan. Any other questions for A.G. Ryan? Let me see. I think there was. You got a compliment, A.G. Ryan. I think, who was it? Someone said that you sound like a radio announcer. They can listen to you all day.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I sound like a radio announcer. I'm not sure if you'll ever catch me on radio, but I appreciate the compliment. I definitely appreciate that compliment.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think Sheila said you did a great job. She's ready to listen to you a little longer, and she also said hello.
There we go. I always appreciate everything Sheila says, because I know she always critiques everybody as well. So hopefully I was on point, Sheila, on my visuals. I tried hard to make sure I didn't break any rules.
Oh, and of course, your friends from Jamaica said to tell you why.
Hey. Was that Dominica? My good friend from Jamaica.
All right. And who else is in here?
I hope to see everybody in St. Croix for conference.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Working on it. Would you say, Keno?
Yep.
Working on it?
Working on it. I think Stephen is in charge of Bahamas Air. He is going to make
it. I think we're going to Kilo Airlines.
No pressure, Lieutenant Stephen.
What is this? Okay. Okay. No, not yet.
Oh, okay. So Ryan, I think we forgot to officially thank you. So this is a certificate which I will be sending to you. Thank you so much for the presentation. I mean, it was great information. I like that you did break it down, so it makes sense to see where the money is going. And as you said, based on those 7 areas, we definitely could find at least one area that we could connect with. For me, it's environment. That's my passion. So yeah, so we definitely appreciate all the information. Thank you again, and I will make sure that this gets to you. Wish I could be delivering a person, but I will be sending.
Save it. Maybe I'll be there sooner than later. So, but I just electronic is perfect. But I appreciate the invite, and hopefully it was informative. But
yes, thank you. Thank you again.
And thank you to the Rotary Club of Nassau for your support of the Rotary Foundation as well. So I know you're a continuous supporter.
Okay, all right. So everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, A.G Ryan.
All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.